catch that S.O.B.?" he asked me when I appeared over Peter's shoulder. I nodded. "I've got a kid of my own at home, you know," he continued. "Almost her age. Wears the same kind of gown. Shit." He stopped and wiped at his face with the back of one meaty paw. "That's our job," I told him. I wondered what kind of murder this was. The easiest ones to solve are the hardest ones to understand. The husbands and lovers and wives and parents who murder people they ought to cherish instead of kill. The random killers, the ones who pick out a victim at a football game or a grocery store, are easier to comprehend and harder to catch. That's the problem with homicide. I turned to Peters. "You about done here?" He nodded. "Pretty much." Walker pulled himself together. "You guys through with me?" "For right now," Peters told him. "But don't go out of town without letting us know where to find you. With all this timely trial crap from the Supreme Court, we may need to get a hold of you in a hurry." Walker looked dolefully at the blackberry clump halfway down the hill. He shook his head. "I wish I never saw her," he said. "I wish I'd have just driven past and never knew she was down there. Know what I mean?" He climbed back into the huge blue tractor-trailer and started it, waving half-heartedly as he eased past where Peters and I were standing. "What now?" Peters asked. "Not much doing here, as far as I can tell. Let's go get something to eat and come back for another look later." The call had come in about 11 in the morning. It was now well after 3. I'm one of those guys who has to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or I begin to foam at the mouth. I was getting close. Peters gave me a reproachful look. "How can you think about food? Where are her parents? The medical examiner says she died sometime around 9 or 9:30. Someone should have come looking for her by now." "Somebody will come," I assured him. "With any kind of luck, it'll be after we finish eating." As it turned out, they found us before we even got out of the car in the parking lot at GG's. A marked patrol car pulled up beside ours. The officer rolled down his window. His name was Sanders. I'd seen him around the public safety building on occasion. "What do you got?" I asked him. "Missing child," he replied. "A girl, 5 years old." "Brown hair, in braids?" I asked him. "Holly hobby nightgown? Pink?" He nodded. "Call came in a little over half an hour ago. I went to check it out before calling you guys in. Could have been someone who forgot to come home for lunch." "She missed lunch, all right," I told him. "And it looks as though we will, too. What's the address?" "Gay Avenue," he answered. 4543. I'll lead you there." Peters wheeled out of the parking lot behind the patrol car. "Why the hell didn't someone call us right away?" he muttered. "We could have been there a long time ago." Peters sometimes reminds me of an Irish setter. Tall, reddish hair, good-looking, loose-jointed, not too bright at times. Calling us on the radio would have been as good as taking out a full-page ad in the Post-Intelligencer, I told him. We just got rid of that mob of reporters, remember? Peters' jawline hardened, but he said nothing. Our partnership was still new and relatively uneasy. We drove through Magnolia without the fanfare of lights and sirens. Magnolia is set apart from the rest of Seattle by a combination of waterways and railroad tracks. On this warm day in late April, flowers and well-manicured lawns were just coming into their own. Magnolia is mostly an older, settled residential neighborhood. Some of the houses are stately mansions with white columns and vast expanses of red brick. I think I had a preconceived notion of the kind of house we were going to, but I was in for a rude awakening. Gay Avenue was anything but gay in every sense of the word. The patrol car led us to a